Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. I woke up today feeling myself and spent all of last night in meditation with Mary Magdalene, and I want to share, oh my goodness, so many gems that came through last evening for me. We are also coming into this weekend, this full moon eclipse, just incredible energies. I'm loving it. And I want to share some of the revelations that were coming to me with the guidance of Mary Magdalene last night. So I was actually supposed to be attending a Magdalene retreat gathering summit this weekend, which I was unable to go to. I had something come up within my family that needed my attention to be here at home. So I was really calling in Magdalene to be with me. I was preparing to spend all weekend with Magdalene, so I opened that portal within myself last night to see what she had to share. Now, I've been working personally with Mary Magdalene for maybe 4 years, around 4 years. And I've also had some training from Kyra at her private. I've worked with her privately and gone to her private retreats. So if you've been to those, there might be some of this that is in a similar vein to that, because my lens of Magdalene really started to come into focus when I was introduced to Kaya's work. And a lot of my remembering started to take place, and a lot of the permission for myself to connect with Magdalene directly became very empowered to start doing that myself. So I hope by sharing what was really exciting for me last night as I was connecting with her, and of course with Jesus and Mother Mary, I felt their presence very much, but it was very, very directed by Magdalene. And what we were looking at together, what she was helping me remember, was her time after the crucifixion and what her life looked like. What was her sort of this sense of, like, there was a renewed sense of purpose for her life, for her mission after the crucifixion, the demonstration of what Jesus went through. There's so many topics that we could, and different perspectives that we could go into when it comes to Magdalene. There's an overwhelming amount out there about this particular ascended master. And I think part of that is that she is such a modern presence. She has such a modern tone to her energy, or at least that's my experience with her. She's very, very actively involved as a global citizen, is like the best word that I can think of, at least in one lens. She's many more things than that. But the lens that she was helping me see through her perspective last night was what are we gonna do about the planet? And the first step in that is to start to actually sit and receive the magnitude of just where it is that we are right now within our history, this moment right now, 2019, and then 2020, and all of the next few years to come are quite important. And so she brought me to what she was doing in her day-to-day life, in her ministry after Jesus died, which had quite a lot to do with preserving and stewarding information to a select group of people who would then carry this information down generations. And that's quite an undertaking. And of course, Mother Mary was involved, and there were, it wasn't just her, of course. And that's another thing that she was reminding me last night, is just how there truly was a sense of community and understanding of the mission. But she was able to access such consciousness that naturally she was the leader. Naturally she was someone that people were looking to, because just the sheer frequency coming from her human body was exquisite and was unique to that time. There were many probably many of you who were being trained, who were being prepared, who were learning through someone who was a direct priestess with Magdalene and passing on some of these teachings, and truly a presence of consciousness and a presence of what do you know to be true. For this later part of her life, there was just such a responsibility that she took upon herself to train others to step into their unlimited potential, to start to radiate exactly who they are. She was a steward of Christ consciousness. She didn't birth Christ consciousness with Jesus exactly. They came here knowing that that consciousness already exists. They were using their human bodies to actually bring that consciousness through into the physical matrix. So she was a steward of that consciousness, and really reminding everyone that heaven's already here. It is here. It is your responsibility to create your heaven on earth, and teaching others how to embody that much sovereignty. And in the face of whatever, wherever you are, she went through quite a lot in her physical lifetime of people looking at her and saying, no, you can't. And she would meet that resistance with yes, I can, and here I am. This was a modern time, and I think that's why so many women really enjoy connecting with Mary Magdalene, who, by the way, was a priestess of Isis and was very connected to the same energies that I talk about on my channel and in my writings, you know, working directly with Isis. And where Mary Magdalene has come in and been such a, like, personally to me, such an incredible support, is to help me establish the courage to work with Isis and establish my courage to allow my higher self to be embodied into this human body. So that is, to me, her greatest teaching that I've received from her personally thus far. She trusted her connection to the now, with a capital N, to the present moment, so fiercely, and so that was such a part of who she was and what her belief systems were, that she knew she didn't need to know everything. But by not knowing everything, by allowing that space within her, that space to connection to presence, she was able to bring through so many information systems. The amount of actual teachings that she was able to bring through, whether it had to do with science, with plant matter, with elements, with how to be in a household, many practical things, and also many things that I think now we consider them to be so esoteric or so grandiose, but they're really not. It's very simple concepts, truly, when we really boil down, you know, what true science is. What she was bringing through information about, you know, finances, how to manage finances, how to manage a household, how to manage a community in a way that where they could live harmonious. These were all things that, you know, just as a very involved citizen in a community would be, that is the way that she very much was showing up. Definitely, you know, all through her life, but she was really showing me just that later part of her life and how focused she was on really getting those systems set into place. And so when we come many generations from that time, there's a remembering that can be accessed. There's a remembering that I can tap into and remember many of the teachings from Magdalene. Why is that? It's because the consciousness that we're coming into now is that all there is now, and we can get into that present state and journey to other lifetimes, to guides who live who exist in a metaphysical existence, and who can help us perceive their particular point of view and their particular mission when they were on the earth and bringing heaven to earth. One of the reasons I think it is, of many, there are so many reasons to connect. You could spend your entire life mentoring with just Mary Magdalene and it would be a very full life. She has a lot to teach to both men and women. So one of the things that she has really started to help me set my focus on, and what I'm really excited to share with you today is, coming to me and helping me get in touch with my unlimited potential. When you start to get in touch with your unlimited potential, there is an inherent power that starts to radiate from your being. And it's not control, okay? Sometimes I think the words control and power, they become interlocked for some reason, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the sheer presence of each of you. I'm talking about the presence of myself and the presence of all human beings that can be accessed when we start to personally realize our unlimited potential. Now, with unlimited potential and with Christ consciousness, there is then a responsibility to not waver. And this is really what the Order of Magdalena was about. It was about accessing your unlimited potential, knowing who you are, bringing your higher self into your embodiment, feeling yourself, like putting on the lashes, if that's what you're feeling like doing today, which is exactly what I woke up feeling like, you know what, I am going to slay today. And that's Magdalene. That is that energy of just absolute confidence and courage. With that presence and with that kind of courage and with that marrying to Christ consciousness and seeing everyone as the divine royalty, of God, seeing everyone with that same unlimited potential, seeing a person and seeing them through the perspective of their soul, not through the perspective of their ego, which takes an incredible amount of courage. In doing that, we must not waver. It must be so anchored into who we are. That is why the anchor, it's a symbol of Magdalene. This promise to yourself, this promise to your soul to anchor that knowingness all day long, every day. No big deal. Just all day long, every day. And tapping into, where she's being such a master for me and where I'm so grateful, is showing me, that takes a lot of courage. That takes courage. It takes a willingness to be seen, and it takes a willingness to stand firm in what you believe to be true about your soul and about the souls of every human being on the planet. So as a mentor, as an ascended master, as this being that we can go into meditation, we can invoke her and Jesus and Mother Mary and many of the disciples in their lifetime. Maybe there's specific disciples who might resonate with you and you want to just expand into this time. That's great if you want to do that. But what I will say, and where I see what I will say is, what I have learned that is important is that these ascended masters, it's looking at them, absolutely, seeing the embodiment, seeing the humanness, seeing the beauty, seeing the divinity, but most importantly, seeing what is it that they are pointing to. When I work with Isis or Hathor or Mary Magdalene or Mother Mary or even the star beings that really show themselves very strongly when I'm in Sedona, they are pointing to things. They're not pointing to themselves, they're pointing my consciousness somewhere that it needs to expand into. And that is true mentorship with Ascended Masters. That's really what I'm talking about when I'm bringing up, I'm working with these Ascended Masters. What I'm saying is I'm looking to someone who has been here in a way that I like. I like the way that you were here, Mary Magdalene. I like the way that you were here, Isis. I want to learn from you. Show me the way. Show me how you did this. And then they point and they take my chin and they turn it for where I can look in my own life. How can I expand myself and like consume any of the darkness that is still within my consciousness? How can I do that? How can I swallow it? And that is truly what ascension is. It is the dark being consumed by the light, completely consumed by the light. It is literally just opening up one aspect of the mastery that was here, the mastery that was here through the body of Mary Magdalene, through the consciousness of Mary Magdalene, which is something that I feel so grateful to be able to connect with her. I feel so grateful that she's a presence in my life. And I will just share one more personal story about how I met Mary Magdalene, because I think it just is it's important to me. And it was just my first direct experience with her is I was sitting at my altar and I was writing, and I heard as I was going down a path of writing or something, and it didn't feel very good, whatever it was that I was writing, I was feeling kind of crappy about myself. As I was writing, I heard, you have to stop caring what other people think. You have to. And it was so direct and it was so piercing to my heart. It was just so true. And this was like 4 years ago when this happened. And it was just like, oh, who's this? Who is this energy? Who is this presence? And then the energy in the room really softened. It was Mary Magdalene. And, and then this really beautiful relationship and mentorship and support really, really began in my life on my journey with her. So I just love her fierceness and her sisterly support, and so many of the ways that she has shown me how to be in better relationships with sisterhood, how to be in better relationship as a mother with my daughter, and how to really just soften into so much of life as well. So it's a beautiful balance. It's a beautiful balance that she has started to show me, and I'm sure that there will be more. But for today, I just wanted to share a specific perspective that came through last night. I don't know how many more videos about Magdalene I'll ever do. This really feels like something that just, as I'm called to share when she shows up, I will. But primarily, I'm still very much focused on writing my book and all of that. So if you do have any questions about Magdalene, of course, I've already listed some of the resources where I've gone to learn about her and to learn about her mysteries and her ministry. I would really recommend, though, if you want to connect with her, you could just do it right now. You could, set sacred space, and there's, that's as simple as it can be if you want it to be. Mary Magdalene is also someone who does show up very strongly in my mentorship containers as well. There are particular women that she just seems to really resonate with, or women who have maybe had lifetimes within the Order of Magdalena. So if you feel really called to that and want to step more into your mastery, I do have a mentorship container for that, so you can check that out on my website if that sounds interesting to you. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video, and I so appreciate you watching this video, hopefully liking and subscribing, hitting the bell so you know when I come out with videos in the future. It's been such an honor to share time and space with you. Thank you.